Good morning, everybody. Here we are. We're back in the studio at the Laker radio station doing a second Laker podcast. It's a beautiful Saturday in Erie. It's got to be in at least the 50s or 60s maybe. And so we're going to do a quick half-hour show, and today we're talking about Avengers: Age of Ultron, the Antman trailer, and then the new Fast and Furious 7 movie. So I'm joined again by Jake Lowry and Kevin Thomas.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, guys. This is a wonderful thing we got going. We're going to keep it going. So to start off, we all know that Mercyhurst is hosting a private screening at Tinseltown of Age of Ultron, the night before it officially releases, which I'm very excited about. I've never attended a private screening. Have you guys ever attended a private screening?
I actually was fortunate to see the red carpet premiere of Captain America: Civil War a week it came out in Cleveland.
Civil War hasn't even
No, sorry,
come out
not
yet.
Civil War. Winter Soldier. That was mind blowing. It's awesome, and this is not an opportunity you miss.
Yeah, definitely. I saw they're only inviting 101 people to sign up, and Avengers is a huge film. This isn't, Teletubbies go to La La Land. This is a big superhero, supervillain movie.
I've read the reviews, and it is considered marvelous. It's got a lot of heroes. I think a few more than have been seen. I know they talked about how one of the not-so-liked characters on the team, Jeremy Springer, who plays Hawkeye, actually gets a redemption. They do a lot with him, and he makes the character a fan favorite in this one.
Any new characters they're introducing? Obviously villains.
Well, yeah, according to, from what I know, they're introducing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, played by that dude that played Kick-Ass, and the woman who played, his wife in Godzilla. They're brother and sister now, so I guess they're going with the, what they call the Fault in Our Stars approach, where they play lovers one movie, and then the next movie they're actually related to each other.
Well, from what I've read, they do a lot of movies together because they are great together. They're very close friends.
They're really good together. Other characters, I think Black Panther is supposed to show up.
It's a rumor. I definitely see it happening. I just don't know how.
And apparently he's played by, oh god,
I can't remember his name.
The guy who was the main character in 12 Years a Slave. That guy's Black Panther.
I can see. And then you got the villains are
like
Baron Strucker, who is the current leader of Hydra in the modern day world.
And then
Ultron.
Duh.
Or if you did not watch their main trailer, it's pretty much Tony tries to create a suit of armor around the world, which is kind of like a safe program, like a 24/7 Avengers human safe. It's supposed to be like this protector of the world. It ends up having a few bugs, and it becomes things. The only way to protect the world is to eliminate humans.
Okay, yeah, that was a. There are many good intentions on the road to hell. Tony Stark.
He definitely has a lot of demons.
I've seen the first two trailers for this. I refuse to see any of the other ones because when a movie has 4 trailers, it's like...
I thought it was 8.
8?
They've done a lot of side stuff.
Okay, if a movie has 4 trailers, then that means to me that it's either going to be really, really, really big, or the studio doesn't have a lot of confidence in it.
It's going to be huge.
So they're trying to pump it out as much. And it's not, and the studio definitely has confidence in it.
Oh, dude, the worst part, the director is great at the first one.
Joss Whedon.
Yep. I don't know what the heck happened when he did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Didn't
but
he
he's...
You know, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Just I'm going in there just like no expectation. Just like I'm going along for the ride.
It's
And
gonna be.
that'll
It's gonna be the one. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And we'll all be going together. The whole podcast
Oh,
crew
yes.
gets to go together. We're all signed up.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully,
it's gonna be.
hopefully it's at like 8 or 9 o'clock instead of like.
No, it's a 7 showing.
It's a 7 showing. I
my-
thought it was at midnight.
Yeah, no.
It's 7 o'clock.
I've gone to a couple. Gone to more than my fair shares of midnight showings. They're usually like 10.
Oh my god! It's at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know which class I'm going. Okay.
I got a class. I think I was supposed to have a class that day. Class canceled.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I think keeping with the MCU thing, this morning I found out that a new trailer for the Marvel movie Antman is dropping on
Tomorrow.
It's dropping the day after this podcast was filmed. Yeah, the first Ant-Man trailer kind of sucked.
My biggest problem with the franchise is it's a lesser known hero with a very bad reputation in its later days, which is why they're going with the second Ant-Man to be the main Ant-Man for this movie.
And, I really like the whole mentor thing that they're going with.
Yeah.
But the dialogue in the trailer is so, like, I've heard this before.
And I know a lot of people are saying it's going to bomb. It's going to be the next disaster like Thor franchise. The villain, I just saw the design for Yellow Jacket, who's going to be the villain, and it looks really good. The effects are improvable. Anyone who's not followed the franchise, they had a great director. There was a fallout, and then they struggled to replace him.
Yeah, like, they had the director of Shaun of the Dead, and then there was a problem behind the scenes, and now they have the director of Bring It On. So what that means is they had the director of a zombie comedy movie, which had pretty good action, and now they have the director of a cheerleading movie.
And the plot actually sounds interesting. It's Hank Pym, who is the original Ant-Man, takes this criminal, try to help him regain his life, and they are trying to rob and I can't remember where they're robbing, but they're trying to prevent
it's like a
greater
heist
evil
thing or something. Yeah, I mean, I like Paul Rudd a lot. I never saw him as a superhero, and I love Michael Douglas, but I never saw him as a superhero either. They're gonna have to be really, really.
Dude, they got balls. This movie, I know it's like he's one of the original Avengers from the original books. He's had a journey. He's like I said, he's done something really bad in the comics that has ruined the reputation of Ant-Man.
And it's just like, Michael Douglas being the mentor thing, I'm sure he can pull that off. But the trailer that they put out last month, to me, I'm like, this looks like the most generic thing ever.
You're taking a kid, like most fans probably don't know who Ant-Man is, who watch the movies. It's a hero who can shrink down and communicate with ants and other insects.
That's not cool. In the 1950s, yeah, that might have been awesome. But
he still has the strength of a normal human, and then he can also become Giant Man, which is like a 40-foot tall superhero.
And how are they going to do that without it looking like a Godzilla movie from the
Well, I don't know if they're going to do
60s.
Giant Man in the beginning. I'm sure they're going to hold off on that if they have the fortunes to do a sequel.
Yeah,
Which I think this is going to be a one-show pony, and then he's going to make an appearance in the Avengers or Captain America.
When I saw the costume, it looked like a copy of the Iron Man costume, but
It looks
modified
so
to
better
look Ant.
than anything done in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, it
Or the
looked
original
better.
comic.
Oh yeah, it looked better in the trailer than the cartoon.
Yeah.
I just laughed when I saw the one in the cartoon, and the one in the movie looks a lot better.
And then the leading lady who
What's
is supposed to be Wasp, who can shrink down, fly, and has like stun stingers.
So is the whole idea to get these these heroes eventually onto the Avengers team?
Well, what is rumored to be going on? They're doing Civil War with Captain America and possibly Iron Man.
Which is like all the Marvel heroes, kind of like all the Avengers, kind of fighting each other. We don't know why.
I actually can answer that. From what I understand, it's what they're doing is how far will you go, and you'll see this since Captain America. How far will you go for safety? Captain America leads aside and said we should not be going head first and risking innocent lives. We should be patient how we're doing things, and then Iron Man leads aside that says, if we have the opportunity to get the upper hand, we should use it.
It kind of sounds like they're going with what you call like the X-Men approach. Like, Captain America is like Professor Xavier, and then Iron Man is Magneto.
Pretty much. And what I've heard rumored they're doing is the Captain America Civil War, which is Captain America 3, will be a direct sequel to Avengers that will say, this is his side of the view. And then they're going to do an Iron Man 4, which is rumored, which will be his side of the war. And then this will lead to several deaths, including Captain America's.
Okay.
Spoiler!
Oh my god.
Yeah, talk about a spoiler. Are they ever gonna introduce Spider-Man into the Avengers squad?
He will be introduced in
the
Captain America.
Yeah.
Marvel and Sony are working together to make a new Spider-Man, which is not they're not going to do the origin story from what I hear.
No, they're not.
So they're making not. We had the films from 10 years ago, the Spider-Man films, the trilogy, and then we had the newer ones. And this is separate from both of those? Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. No.
Despite the fan favorite Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, they have, I believe,
I think
they're close to announcing a cast.
Yeah, they're very close to casting an actual 16-year-old as Spider-Man. He's going to be in high school.
You got to think you're got to be like, they're going to look at their Disney Channel thing, okay, we want you to audition.
Like,
we're going to write you off the show, and then we're going to bring you on just so we don't have to do a lot.
Yeah, a 16-year-old Peter Parker can work fine, but you got to have a good one. You got to have a good one, though. Like, please don't give me another, 30-year-old playing a high school student again.
I mean, the second movie was amazing. The first one, the best part was Green Goblin.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, the Mary Jane, the only way that's going to look like any high school
thing. If you get, Emma Stone to play her again. She still looks like a high school student.
I would rather see the original choice, which was
Shailene Woodley.
Which I think is a shame she got killed. She got written off.
That could work,
I pay to see it. She looks like it.
Yeah, she looks. She can act, and she is. Good looking enough. I think that I could buy her as a teenager.
Yeah, and then also Spider-Man will be making an appearance in Avengers 3,
which will be great.
It's a 2-part.
Well, the second film hasn't even been released yet, and you guys are already saying the third's going to be great?
They're bringing in Ultron not Ultron, they're bringing in Thanos for 3 and 4.
Which, that is either going to be the biggest thing ever or the worst flop.
Well, what they're saying is they're talking about bringing in a team up with the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy to bring them down. And
my God! That's
talking about bringing in a whole new lineup for the Avengers.
Oh my God! That's either gonna be the coolest looking thing ever, or I'm sorry, if I get a shot of, Rocket Raccoon on Iron Man's thing holding those guns.
I want to see
ridiculous.
A fight between Groot and Hulk.
I think that would be really fun to see.
I definitely. Because I know they're releasing a whole bunch of newer heroes, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Black Panther,
a lot of people,
Antman, which are rumored to be making it their way into the final 2 Avengers films. Plus, you got the TV shows. Daredevil was a hit.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that. Well, they're also doing Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist, who I'm praying hope make it.
Just from the reviews that I've read of Daredevil, do a second season of that.
Well, I'm sure what they did is, instead of doing what they did with Arrow and Flash, where every episode is a new villain.
Is it like one continuous story?
Yeah.
Or, like, I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
one continuous
I have,
story
like, work to do.
with maybe bringing in a different villain.
I mean,
every once in a
okay,
while.
that would be... I mean, again, I like the Daredevil in 2003 where Ben Affleck played him. Everybody complains about that movie. It's not Marvel's greatest film.
Well, to be fair, Marvel didn't direct that one.
Well, okay, well, it's not, the greatest Marvel adaptation, but it is an enjoyable movie. However, I am interested in seeing a darker version of the character, because I know he is dark.
He is very dark.
And I really like dark things, even though I'm a very light person.
Once you see the red suit, him in the red suit for the first time, it is unbelievable. I did think that Kingpin was not brought to his full potential, but if they do bring him like a season 2 or 3, he will easily make a return.
Well, I'm sorry. When you have the guy from Men in Black and one of the Law and Order shows.
But he was the perfect. He's perfect.
I mean,
the problem is the way they wrote it. He was just coming out in the public as they just announced he is this. He just got engaged. I'm not even gonna say anymore.
I mean, I'll watch
He
it.
wasn't the Kingpin people know, but he was definitely the Kingpin we want.
I mean, I'll watch it eventually, or soon actually, and have an opinion. Now I think we can move on to the more main event.
Fast 7, Furious 7.
Okay.
Fast and Furious 7. I saw the, just to chime in a bit about my experience with the films. I saw, I believe, at least 2 out of the first 3, and I thought they were trash, just absolute trash. And then I saw the 5th, and the 5th was amazing. You just had the fight with The Rock and Vin Diesel, and I mean that was awesome.
That's so bad.
And just all the crazy car stunts and all the gunfights. But I mean I never really cared after that to go see the 6th, and then I didn't even know a 7th came out until a couple weeks ago.
They did some crazy ass shit on the show.
And you know what? They did okay. My experience with Fast and the franchise is I've seen the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, twice. I think the car chase sequences are nice but dated, and the plot for that movie is just boring.
Which one?
The original one.
I think Tokyo Drift.
Oh no, Tokyo Drift. I can't even sit through.
Until I saw. No, you can watch the franchise and skip number 3.
No,
That's
what?
How bad.
From what I understand, Tokyo Drift takes place after Furious 7 in terms of chronology. I know that the last shot of the movie is Vin Diesel just showing up in this car, and I'm like,
you did not. I don't think anyone knew what the frick they were planning when they first saw it, and now they do it's only the main guy from that movie is only in it for barely 5 minutes, and it's okay, that makes sense.
Okay, I saw Too Fast and Too Furious once, and I will never see it again.
I thought it was good.
Ever. I
think,
didn't. The only thing I remember about that movie is that they're trying to stop some drug guy in Florida, and then Eva Mendes has cleavage, and that's literally all I remember from the movie. Eva Mendes.
Forget the cars, forget the tires. It's all about cleavage.
And okay, there's that. And then I saw 20 minutes of the fourth movie, Fast and Furious, in the back of my friend's van where the sound...
It's always in the back of a van, ladies and gentlemen.
I saw 10 minutes.
He just got that.
I saw the first 10 minutes of Fast 5 on TV, and I liked what I saw, but I had to go to class, so I couldn't watch the whole thing.
That's always the down.
I saw none of Fast 6. Now we actually get to the freaking topic of this. I went into Fast 7, and I was like, all I care about is Vin Diesel and Paul Walker doing amazing stunts in cars, and Jason Statham being, a BA guy. And that's what I got.
Here's my counter. I think the first two were good. They weren't the greatest, but they were good. 3 was a kick in the nads. Left bleeding on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
waiting for help.
I will agree with you.
And then you got 4, 5 that were unbelievable. 6 was like a holy crap, that was unbelievable. And then you got 7, which leaves you speechless.
Yeah, again,
They I remember reading an article where they actually had to tone down the stunts, but the stunts
they
were...
had to tone them down.
How do you tone
that down? That's not
the parachute
toned
scene
down.
of the car was the most bad.
Oh my God.
I want to try that.
That's not
I know,
toned down.
I know it's like the unsafest thing on the planet, but I really want to try it.
Like, what did they tone down? Because nothing seemed toned down
that
to
was
me at all.
that was the greatest...
Like, that was what
the director gave...
Like, I think it's like James Wan, the guy who did like the
he's now doing Aquaman.
And that's great. But like, I feel like every action scene in Furious 7, and everyone is amazing to watch.
Here's how, because I know they're talking about an 8th.
No, they can't do that.
They were rumoring to bring him back. What's her toes from number 2?
Eva Mendes from number 2.
Yeah.
She's above a Fast and Furious movie at this point.
So is a lot of things. But the way they ended it, they never had to introduce Paul Walker or Vin Diesel's sister.
They need to. Okay, like what I like about the movie is like the first 15 minutes. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is a Fast and Furious movie. It's so. And we won't spoil the plot, but the first 15 minutes is so dramatic. It's like, holy God, right? Like, what happened to the franchise here where it's driving in cars? I missed Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of flashbacks and shit, and I'm like, this would mean something to me if I had seen Fast 5 and 6.
They've pretty much gone from on-the-run, street level to high-intense Black Ops for higher level.
And, it's just like, Furious 7, if you're a big fan of the franchise, then see it. I'm sure you'll be entertained. If you're not...
Still go see it.
See it, but know that you need to turn your brain off as soon as your butt hits the chair. Like, me and my sister and my mom, we knew what we were going into. My dad thought it was a giant waste of time, and I was like, Dad, you gotta know... Did you know what kind of movie you were going into? And he didn't.
Dude, here's what I don't want to see an 8th. I think the way they ended it was perfect. But if they do a thing where it's like they do another whole different individual thing where it's maybe like maybe Paul Walker's journey was with the first 7. Maybe they bring on
like somebody else.
How good was I know they had to do a CGI restructure of his face. How good was that?
No, it was really accurate.
Well, no. Okay, there's a shot near the end where Vin Diesel is in one car and he's in another car.
Well, that was from the first movie.
Oh, it was. Okay. And again, I don't remember the first movie, so...
They do it's not one of those, the screen goes black and then in memory of Paul Walker, they do a little slideshow.
Yeah, it's like
they do
Paul,
a entire... The best thing was that they do like a 5-minute farewell where it is the best thing in the franchise.
Oh yeah, I was like,
and this is after a mountain chase, after driving off a plane.
Crazy stuff that's been going on. Like
that was the most intense thing.
Like they have this. The song is really good. The camera is great. I'm actually sitting here getting a little bit emotional in the theater, and I'm like, I should not be getting emotional in this movie where I've seen guys drive out of 2 buildings and out of planes and all this. This is the second movie I've gone to where everyone's leaving the theater in silence. The first one was American Sniper. This one was just as silent. Like, really,
there's no noise until you walk out of the theater and you hear...
again...
People ordering popcorn.
I read... The critical reception for this is like, yeah, the action is great, but it has more dramatic heft. And I have to say... If I had seen Fast 5 and Fast 6 all the way through, I would probably agree with that. They do take it seriously when appropriate, but they also know that it's a dumb, fun movie.
I would disagree on the fun. I definitely think that the way they've gone, I think that the whole now that they're going away from the street level and going to more the Black Ops for higher level, they get to pull off more cooler stunts.
Oh yeah, definitely. The stunts are a lot
But I definitely
better.
miss the whole rogue stuff. Like,
I don't really miss the stuff where it's like them just driving and street racing. I thought that was it was cool, but it got old quick.
if they do a thing where they do an eighth, it may be cool to see them bring back like maybe one or two people from Tokyo Drift for a while.
Maybe, but I just
I know
feel like
the main
they
actor is now
shouldn't-
doing NCIS New Orleans.
They just shouldn't bring. There should not be an eighth. This is
There's a
perfect
point where
send-off.
Hollywood should just say, okay, yeah, we
let's
know we can
end
make-
this.
we know we can make money off this. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, let someone reboot it in 5 years.
never reboot.
And you know they're gonna do that.
I
Somebody
know.
in the decade
Someone's
is going
gonna be
to
an
do it.
asshole and
Like
just
reboot
reboot
the
it.
thing. But Vin Diesel is these movies. Like you can't. There will never be another Dominic Toretto
he does a great
ever.
job. This is something that it's probably gonna be like with. I think someone's gonna be smart enough and wait 30 years.
Yeah, like wait 30 years until we
When all the cars are on
adults.
hovercrafts.
And they can, they can just CGI every person, no actors anymore.
Oh yeah, they're gonna
Just
CG.
CGI the characters,
Well, that's one of the things I'm
the
worried.
create the voices with the computers, and
They can't.
It's one thing if you're doing what they do with Smeagol and a lot of these characters where it's like CGI like that. But if you're taking up Paul Walker or another, I don't care if he's dead or alive, Michael Jackson.
well, you think about it, it's like they did that with Paul Walker, and we're still at a point now where CGI obviously isn't as good as it can
Yeah,
get.
they had his
There's a
brother
lot
come
that can
in
go.
And
But it's
Like,
amazing
the
we're
body,
computerizing, a human's face now.
I think there's
it's-
going to be a degree where it will end up in loss. I don't think anyone's going to be stupid enough to say we can't pay for Johnny Depp, but we're just going to CGI him.
Oh yeah, I mean I was mostly just joking. That would be pretty unreal, and that would just
You can't do
put so many
No.
people out of work too.
it's just like, but with this movie, I came in there and I'm like, okay, this movie's gonna be.
I mean, the family was involved, the cast. They knew
everyone,
they could do this.
like, they really ended in a way where it's like, you could do a Fast and Furious 8.
You could do a whole
but-
another 7 movies, maybe.
But, also you could end it right here and it would
was
be
just the more sensible
perfect-
thing.
Like, yeah, when Fast and Furious went sentimental, I was like, holy crap, I'm actually caring about these people that I've only seen, like, them do amazing stunts for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and now I'm actually getting emotional in my seat.
Hollywood, and this is what's going to tick fans off, they're going to milk this cow clean dry until they give it to Jack to sell for magic beans and make a sequel.
Oh no, Michael Bay's production company's gonna reboot it.
Oh!
That's not gonna happen. Michael Bay's gonna reboot this
They're not going to make
thing.
it past the first one.
Explosions occur.
Well, no, but that's the thing, though. The thing about these movies, and this is something that I've noticed sitting here kind of thinking about it, is that they do care about the characters over time. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, Vin Diesel's here, we can milk that. And then,
Vin Diesel has hair.
yeah, Vin Diesel had a little bit of hair back in 01.
Come on, you can tell, you can give fortunes on that head.
And then, in the beginning, it was just like, let's do a street racing thing. And then, for Furious 7, it seemed like they actually cared more about the characters than I had ever seen in a Fast and Furious movie. Like, the things they were doing were extreme, but I actually felt like, oh my god, are these people gonna die?
Yeah, it's amazing because I know you said you didn't like number 2, but
No.
the two characters, supporting ones that were in this were from...
Oh yeah, I remembered.
second.
Tyrese Gibson was
Yeah.
from, and I was like, why the heck?
I'm surprised
is he
Ludacris
here?
had that big fro in the
Yeah,
the
like,
second. What the frack?
Like, you know what? Really, I liked how Ludacris was like the comic relief person throughout, and that was so great.
And then they moved it more towards the other guy, and now it's like a...
I mean, it was like a great pairing.
I'm still curious, like, I would like to see them bring back those two guys from the Fifth who lost all their money gambling.
Oh, I don't know. Again, I don't know who you're referring to.
I don't remember
but-
their names. I just
and
remember
I
they had a
know-
scene where they put a bomb in a plumbing, and then after that, there's a one bag cop sits on the toilet, and then everything explodes.
Yeah, and I don't mean to go into this, but I understand that the guy that played the villain in the 6th movie is playing the Beast now in the live-action Beauty and the Beast, and I'll see that just so that
They actually casted the guy who played Magneto for Cogsworth.
I want you. That's gonna be like, I want you to get out of this castle or something.
Well, you gotta
like
realize
that.
he's pretty much a downer anyway.
Well, Ian McKellen.
The
can do
CGI for that's gonna be unbelievable.
But anyway, with these movies, with the Furious movies, you either go along with it within the first 10 minutes, or you need to get the heck out.
No, I disagree. You gotta enjoy it for the ride.
Well, no, I get why someone wouldn't enjoy
Unless you're
it.
number 3.
As much as I loved Furious 7, I can understand why someone wouldn't. I mean, it is action scene after action scene, and to some people that could get annoying if they're not totally in the mood for
my
it.
best friend is, she's in the she's into the more dramatic sense than she is in the action.
Well, that's fine. Like,
But she definitely loves Fast 7.
Yeah,
She called me Easter morning. It's like, oh, my dad's coming into town. We're going to go see Fast 7. I don't want to see it. I'm going to cry my eyes out.
no, you're not gonna cry your eyes
They're
out
gonna get
until the
she-
last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
If you're
Hi, Brookie.
Yeah, it's like if you're expecting a big, dramatic, character-driven story, then you are in the wrong movie.
No, it's amazing balance between emotion and action.
Well, yeah, like there is a nice little scene about at the halfway point between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and then when Paul Walker calls his wife on the phone, like right before the big 20-minute climax scene in Los Angeles.
Dude, I'm going to say it either way. This is the greatest Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah,
This
it
is,
definitely is the best one I've seen.
this is a great way to end it, but unfortunately,
But
Hollywood
Universal
will yank this cow.
But Universal is gonna be like, yeah, we don't care. We're gonna make 8 and 9 and 10, and in 10 years it's gonna be like F20 or something.
This could, like, I don't see this being like the James Bond kind of thing where they're just gonna come out like every
Yeah,
every
like every
3 to 4 years. with
4
a new
years.
one.
Like if Fast and Furious goes on for 50 years, I'm gonna go up to Universal myself and be like, stop.
If they make it to 20, yell at them.
If they make it to F, it's gonna be like F20, and people are gonna know what F means. Like,
Yeah, it's not the kind we usually know.
yeah, like they keep decreasing the words. Like it's like they're cheap in that way.
Nah, it's just catchy.
So to wrap it up today, guys, just one last question. What recent movie that you guys have seen in the past couple months? Because I know you guys are always at the movies.
Not.
We
over.
saw-
Well, you
Yeah,
guys
and
you
we
guys are
deserve
big
to.
movie fans and critics. So what was the most recent film you saw that was what was the best most recent film you've seen?
Probably
Furious
7, but
We
also
saw Insurgents.
the Insurgent.
I've never seen the first one. He say
Okay, I saw with the Divergent series. I saw the first Divergent, and I felt the first Divergent to me was like if someone made a fan fiction of the Hunger Games and then made that into a movie. That's what Divergent would be.
I had to watch that on a bus when I was traveling with the football team, and I wanted off the bus because the movie just
was so
just
bad.
the
trash.
second one is more emotional.
Yeah, like the
and
second one-
Shakira Woodsley definitely is a great
Shailene
emotional
Woodley.
actress.
Like, okay, I came into Insurgent just like, oh my, just like there's a new director. Please just give me freaking action and I'll be okay. All I want is action. And when I went in there, what I got was, I got the action that I wanted, but there was also a couple of emotional scenes that made me uncomfortable in my seat. And I'm not a person that gets uncomfortable easily, but the emotion that Shailene Woodley was able to put into a performance in this movie, I was like, holy crap.
She's a talented actress.
Like this is the Shailene Woodley that I loved in The Fault in Our Stars. The one where she was a human being and not just some random action heroine. Her boyfriend still needs to learn how to act. But, whatever. Shailene Woodley is the reason to see this movie, as well as the action sequences, which they're not as good as Furious 7, but they're still
No,
very
it's
good.
it's a good lower grade of Hunger Games.
And you know what? The way they end it, it would be great if they ended the series right there. But they have a 2-part finale coming out next year, and the year after it. They're pumping these freaking things out quick. I hope the director stays on with it, because he's a good director. He knows how to do action without that stupid little shaky cam thing. The movie wasn't perfect. The pacing was really bad in the first 15 minutes. And if you hadn't seen Divergent, you need to, or you're not going to get the
Is it on
humor.
Netflix?
No, it's not.
Okay, I gotta switch to Hulu.
Okay, but like, the only real criticism I had was that the humor in Insurgent completely depended on whether or not you had seen Divergent. And
Yeah.
I had forgotten Divergent because I hated it. And so when they're trying to get like the audience to laugh, we're sitting there like,
I did not
What?
laugh. I didn't laugh too much. Even the sex scene was really terrible.
oh god, yeah, like worst sex scene of
It's like
2015.
it's like 30 seconds of just pure black.
And then this woman in our theater was like, I get it. No, really, this
No,
woman
it's
in our
like
theater.
you see the.
Like, we see their bare
How far
backs.
can we talk about it?
Like, we see their bare
Unfortunately, we
backs and
can't
stuff.
talk about it too much. We're running out of
Yeah,
time,
pretty much,
but
Is that the
she-
worst
she
sex
takes
We,
out-
um,
they're both like top.
They're both, top.
we have to
then-
keep this,
Black.
PG, guys,
We are,
unfortunately.
It was
in
really
the end,
bad.
in the end, see the movie.
Moms will not have to worry about covering their little kids' eyes.
In the end, just see the movie if you want a thoughtful enough action
It's a
film.
good way to lose a couple of IQ points.
Yeah, it's an
And have fun.
intelligent dumb film.
I'm dying to see. You said the best thing they did compared to the books that I know a lot of fans hated that. Well, we're actually not going to spoil that.
No, we can't.
But they do something in the movies that's like, okay, fans, we know you wanted this at the end of the book, so we're going to give it to you in the movie.
and
There's something to be sure about.
yeah, they actually kept something from the book that was awesome for once. That's really cool. So yeah, in the end, either see Furious 7 if you
No
want,
matter what.
see it, and then see Insurgent if you want a slightly more intelligent action film.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Kevin and Jay, for coming in today for a second show. And I'm sure we're definitely going to have to do another show after we see the Age of Ultron together, because
Hell yeah.
Heck
I'll
yeah.
actually go to the theater for the first time in probably 2 years.
Oh my
You wanna use
god,
my-
dude! Like,
you wanna use my
like,
gift
do
card
you
to pay?
stream everything?
Yeah, I don't go to the movies
Dude,
often.
we'd
man.
have to rush over here right after and just do it.
Yeah.
Might
Yeah,
not be
Or we
open,
can try to
but
get that van and just do the podcast. in
No,
there.
do the podcast in the van.
we could do that if we had the equipment and the van, so you guys can shell out the cash for that. All right, thanks everybody for listening. Have a wonderful day.